The great hall of the galactic conclave fell silent when the 7 Cardinals rose from their ancient thrones. These beings were the oldest in the known universe. Their bodies were made of pure crystalline light, and their voices carried the weight of 1,000 civilizations. Every species in the galaxy bowed before them. Every empire followed their laws. When the Cardinals spoke, reality itself seemed to listen. Admiral Vexter of the Dominion Imperial fleet stood at attention. His forearms were pressed against his armored chest in the traditional salute. Behind him, through the massive windows of the conclave station, a fleet of 10,000 warships waited in perfect formation. They were the greatest military force ever assembled. Each ship carried enough firepower to crack a planet in half. Today, they had received their sacred mission. The eldest cardinal, a being known only as the First Voice, floated forward. Light pulsed through its crystalline form as it spoke. The species known as humanity has been judged. They are young. They are aggressive. They spread across their arm of the galaxy like a disease. Our prophets have seen their future. If left unchecked, they will bring chaos to the natural order. They will challenge the very foundations of our civilization. Admiral Vexter felt pride swelling in his chest. He had waited his entire life for a mission of such importance. The humans were newcomers to the galactic stage. They had only discovered faster than light travel 300 years ago. They had no great fleets. They had no advanced weapons. They were weak. They were primitive. They were nothing compared to the might of the Dominion. We bless this purification. The Cardinals spoke in unison. Their voices created harmonics that vibrated through every molecule in the chamber. Go forth, Admiral. Cleanse the galaxy of this threat. Let no human world remain. Let no human ship escape. This is the will of the Cardinals. Admiral Vexter bowed deeply. His mandibles clicked together in satisfaction. This would be the easiest campaign of his career. The humans had only 40 colonized worlds. Their largest fleet contained maybe 200 ships. His forces outnumbered them 50-1. His technology was centuries ahead of theirs. Victory was not just expected. It was guaranteed. The Imperial fleet departed the conclave station and entered hyperspace. Their destination was the human frontier world of New Geneva. Intelligence reports said it was a peaceful colony. It had farms. It had families. It had almost no military presence. It would be the perfect place to begin the extermination. 3 days later, the fleet emerged from hyperspace above New Geneva. Admiral Vexter stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Divine Judgment. He looked down at the blue and green world below. It reminded him of countless other worlds he had conquered. Soon it would be nothing but ash and memory. Send the standard ultimatum, he ordered. Give them 1 hour to evacuate. We are not savages. We will allow their civilians to flee before we begin the bombardment. His communications officer transmitted the message. Then something unexpected happened. The humans did not respond with fear. They did not beg for mercy. They did not attempt to flee. Instead, a single human voice came through the speakers. This is Governor Sarah Chun of New Geneva. We have received your message. We decline your offer. We will not abandon our home. If you want this world, you will have to take it. Admiral Vexter laughed. The sound echoed through his bridge like grinding stones. Such foolish bravery. Such pointless defiance. He almost admired them. Begin the bombardment, he ordered. 10,000 ships opened fire simultaneously. Plasma beams rained down from orbit. Nuclear missiles streaked through the atmosphere. The surface of New Geneva should have been transformed into a hellscape of fire and destruction. But something impossible happened instead. The weapons simply stopped. Every beam, every missile, every projectile. They froze in mid-air above the planet's surface. Then they reversed direction. They flew back toward the ships that had fired them. Admiral Vexter watched in horror as his own weapons tore through his own fleet. Ships exploded by the hundreds. Crews died by the millions. The greatest military force ever assembled was destroying itself. What is happening? He screamed. How is this possible? No one had an answer. No one could explain what they were witnessing. The humans had somehow turned their entire attack against them. But that was impossible. No technology in the known universe could do such a thing. Then the human ships appeared. They did not emerge from hyperspace like normal vessels. They simply materialized out of nowhere. Thousands of them. Tens of thousands. They were sleek and silver and moved with impossible speed. They flowed through the Imperial fleet like water through rocks. Every shot they fired found its target. Every maneuver they made was perfect. They fought with a precision that seemed almost supernatural. Admiral Vexter realized with growing terror that the intelligence reports had been wrong. The humans had not been building a small defensive fleet. They had been building something else entirely. They had been preparing for this moment. They had known the attack was coming. In less than 1 hour, the battle was over. The Imperial fleet was destroyed. Only a handful of ships managed to escape into hyperspace. Admiral Vexter was not among them. His flagship was boarded by human soldiers. They moved through his corridors with quiet efficiency. They did not kill unnecessarily. They simply incapacitated his crew and took control of his ship. The admiral was brought before a human commander. She was small by his standards. Her body was fragile and soft. She had no claws. She had no armor. She had no natural weapons of any kind. Yet something in her eyes made him afraid. Something ancient and terrible lurked behind that calm expression. "My name is Admiral Chun," she said. Her voice was soft but carried absolute authority. "I believe you met my mother. She is the governor of New Geneva. She wanted me to thank you personally for your ultimatum. It gave us the extra hour we needed to position our fleet." Admiral Vexter struggled against his restraints. His pride would not allow him to show fear before this primitive creature. "This changes nothing," he spat. "The Cardinals have blessed your destruction. The Dominion will send more fleets. You cannot stand against the entire galaxy." Admiral Chun smiled. It was a cold expression that held no warmth or mercy. "We were hoping you would say that. You see, Admiral, we have known about the Cardinals and their plans for quite some time. We have spent the last 300 years preparing for this moment. You thought we were primitive. You thought we were weak. You were meant to think that. We wanted you to underestimate us. We wanted you to attack us with everything you had." She leaned closer. Her eyes seemed to glow with an inner light. "Because now we have justification. You attacked us first. You tried to exterminate our entire species. The Cardinals blessed our destruction. By galactic law, we have every right to defend ourselves. We have every right to respond in kind. And we will." The human fleet did not stop at New Geneva. They pushed forward into Dominion space with unstoppable momentum. Every world that resisted was conquered. Every fleet that opposed them was destroyed. The humans fought with a fury that shocked the entire galaxy. They were not just defending themselves. They were sending a message. Within 1 month, the Dominion homeworld fell. The Imperial family was captured. The government collapsed. An empire that had lasted for 50,000 years crumbled in less than 30 days. Other civilizations watched in stunned silence. They had believed the humans to be the weakest species in the galaxy. Now they realized they had been deceived. The Cardinals called an emergency session of the Galactic Conclave. Representatives from every major civilization attended. Fear hung thick in the air. Everyone knew why they had been summoned. Everyone knew what was coming. Admiral Chun arrived at the Conclave station with a fleet of 100,000 ships. She walked into the Great Hall alone. She wore no armor. She carried no weapons. She did not bow before the Cardinals. She simply stood before them and waited. The first voice spoke first. Its crystalline form flickered with barely contained rage. "You have committed crimes against galactic civilization. You have destroyed a member empire. You have upset the natural order. You will be punished for your arrogance." Admiral Chun laughed. The sound was completely without fear. "Punished? By whom? Your dominion is gone. Their fleet is gone. You have no military force capable of threatening us. You have no weapons capable of harming us. You are ancient beings who have ruled through fear and manipulation for millions of years. But you have forgotten something important. You have forgotten what it means to face a species that refuses to die." She raised her hand. A holographic display appeared showing human ships surrounding the Conclave station. "We trace the blessing back to its source. We know about your prophecies. We know about your plans. You have been manipulating galactic civilizations since the beginning of recorded history. You have destroyed thousands of species that you considered threats. You blessed the genocide of countless innocent beings, all to maintain your precious order." The Cardinals pulsed with angry light, but they did not move. They did not strike. For the first time in their eternal existence, they were afraid. "What do you want?" the first voice demanded. "We want you to watch," Admiral Chun replied. "We want you to watch as we tear down everything you have built. We want you to watch as we free the species you have enslaved. We want you to watch as your order collapses around you. And we want you to remember this moment. The moment when you blessed our destruction and sealed your own fate." She turned her back on them. It was the ultimate insult. It showed that she did not consider them a threat. "The Cardinals blessed our destruction," she said as she walked away. "But you should have done your research. You should have learned our history. You should have understood what happens when you corner a human. We do not surrender. We do not give up. We fight. We adapt. We survive. And then we come for those who tried to destroy us." The doors of the Great Hall closed behind her. The Cardinals remained frozen on their ancient thrones. They had existed for millions of years. They had controlled the destiny of the galaxy. They believed themselves to be gods. Now they understood the truth. They were not gods. They were simply old. And old things eventually fall before the new. The human expansion continued for the next 100 years. They did not conquer through violence alone. They offered freedom to the oppressed. They offered knowledge to the ignorant. They offered hope to the hopeless. Species that had served the Cardinals for millennia joined humanity's new order. The old ways crumbled. The new ways rose. The Cardinals faded into obscurity. Their crystalline forms dimmed. Their voices lost their power. They became nothing more than relics of a forgotten age, monuments to arrogance, reminders of what happens when you underestimate the determination of a species fighting for survival. Humanity spread across the galaxy. They became the new guardians of civilization. But they never forgot the lesson of the Cardinals. They never forgot what it felt like to be marked for extinction. They built their empire on different principles: cooperation instead of domination, freedom instead of control, hope instead of fear. And somewhere, in the quiet corners of space, the descendants of the Imperial fleet still told stories about the day everything changed. They spoke of the Cardinals who blessed destruction and received destruction in return. They spoke of the small, fragile beings who defeated the mightiest empire in history. They spoke of humanity and the terrible price of underestimating them. The Cardinals had blessed their destruction. The Imperial fleet had cursed them forever after.